Good morning, students. Hope all of you are doing well. Today, I am going to start a new chapter, Force and Friction. In this chapter, this force and friction is very much important. So, at first, I want to start a basic things about force. Okay. So, in our day-to-day life, we perform various actions such as closing or opening a door, lifting a book, or pressing a doorbell. So, if you see those such situation closely, then you can find out these actions are various forms of push or pull. Okay. So, these things, suppose you are lifting a book from a table, so we are applying actually what is it, we are applying a force there. So but that is a one action of push or pull. What kind of action we are doing, that things today we will learn. Okay, so in your book actually there have a one activity. Classify the actions given here as a push or a pull. So some examples is given here. We have to classify what type of action is it. It is a push or it is a pull, that we have to find out. So students, you open your class copy and write down this all this situation of activity 1. Okay, so first one I am writing here. So see here, writing here moving a card. So here actually we are applying a what type of action we are doing here. So in here actually we can say is sometimes we are push the cut or sometimes we pull. Okay, so actually we are doing two types of action we are sometimes we are doing. So I am writing two here. So either push or pull. Okay, so question number next situation is kicking a ball. So kicking a ball. So here what type of action we are using? Kicking a ball, actually we are push. We are what type of action we are applying? We are applying a push actually. Okay, because we are kick the ball. Okay, question number 3 is situation number 3 is opening a drawer. So opening a drawer or opening a door, we are applying actually drawer. Here actually we are which pull, we are applying a pull. Lifting a bag, lifting a bag from the floor. So lifting a bag from the floor. So what type of action we are actually using? Pull. Okay, or lifting a pen from the table. So see what type of action? Lifting a pen. So actually we are pulling. Okay, so what type of action we are using? Actually pull. Question number 5, closing. Yes, closing a door. Closing a door, actually here that depends on that actually door. Sometimes if you enter the house, when you try to enter the house, that time we are actually pull the door or push the door. Okay, so like said actually closing the door, sometimes we are actually what type of action we are doing? Push the door. Okay, push the door, because suppose you are going outside of the room. If you want to go to that outside of your house, that time actually when we are trying to close the door, sometime we are actually pull. We are applying what type of action is pull. And when you enter the house and then you try to close the door, that time we are using push. So we can say here push and pull, both action we can say that that depends on that which side you are going, inside the house or outside the house. So these two action we are applying. Question number 6. Drawing a bucket of water from a well. So drawn the water from a well. So actually we are pull. We are applying a pulling to drawn the water from a well. Okay. So pull. So see here, moving a cart, we are applying a both actions. Sometimes we are applying a push or pull. Kicking a ball, push. Opening a drawer, pull. And lifting a bag from the floor, pull. And closing a door, push or pull. That depends on that, means you are going to inside of the house or outside of the house. Okay. And drawing a bucket from a well, it is pull. Okay. So here actually we have discussed this activity 1. So you will find that each of these action in activity 1 is either push or pull. Okay. Because two things at a time we cannot use. Okay, push or pull at a time, two things we can't apply it. Okay, so either we can use push or pull. So these things already I have discussed in activity 1. So here you see this two picture in your book. See this pushing an object. So observe the picture number 4.1. In the first case, the fruit seller is moving his hand cart by pushing it. See here, the fruit seller moving his hand cart by pushing it. Okay, because he is applying a force in this side. Actually we cannot introduce the word force. We will introduce. As first you know that we are applying a push or pull. For doing such action, for doing such situation. So in the second case, you see that the girl is moving with the suitcase by pulling it. Okay, so see this, how that girl pulling the suitcase. So also there is an interaction between two objects. So see here when the food seller pushing the cart, food hand cart. So here also two object are interaction to each other, and in this case the girl is moving with the suitcase by pulling it. Here also the interaction between two objects by means of a push or a pull. So the act of push or pull caused due to an interaction is called force. So now if I ask you what is how to define a force, or how can you define a force, or what is force? So we can define force, or actually the force is as a push or pull acting upon an object as a result of an interaction. So actually the push or pull acting upon an object. What is that acting up? We are applying a push or pull, whatever acting upon an object as a result of an interaction. So interaction is the very important parts for action of a push or pull. So that force as a push or pull acting upon an object as a result of an interaction. So if in your exam is asking about what is force, so you have to write a force as a push or pull acting upon an object as a result of an interaction. So you have to write the definition of a force like this way. Okay, next part. So now we know that what is force, but what is the effect of force? So means when we are applying a force, what kind of effect you will observe, that is very much important. So let us find out the effects of force on an object. So for example, if I keep this pen on the floor, on this table, so if we not applying any force, so this is a stationary object, you can say that. So if I cannot apply or if you cannot touch this pen, is this possible to move this pen from here to there, here to there? It is not possible. But if I lift this pen like this way, so actually we are applying? We are applying a force to move this object from here to there. Okay. So the first point of the effect of force is that a force can move a stationary object. So a force applied on a stationary object can make it move. So when I am applying the force on this pen, the pen can move from one place to another place. So a force applied on an object, stationary object, can make it move. So pulling a suitcase on its wheel and lifting a box from the ground are the few examples of how stationary object can be made to move by applying a force. So when I'm putting this pen on this table, so now this pen is in position of rest. So now this pen is in rest position, but when I am applying a force to lifting this pen from here to there, so that pen is in motion. So a force can move a stationary object. So a force can help to move a stationary object. So this is the first effect of force. Okay, see, look at this picture. So how that girl, because that box, this cart is this box is a stationary object. So if we are not applying any force to move here to there, so it is not possible to, by itself it is not possible to move here to there. So when we are applying a force, then that this stationary object can move from here to there. Okay, so next point is that a force can stop a moving object. Okay, suppose you are driving a car. Okay, so if you do not apply a brake, is it possible by itself the car will stop? Not possible. So we can stop a moving object by applying a force in the direction opposite to the movement of the object. Okay, so when we are applying a brake, or then that time that moving object can stop. So through the brake we are applying a force. So when you catch a ball, suppose if I throw one ball to you, that if you when you catch it, then that it will, that when I'm throwing that ball, so that ball is in moving position. So when you catch it, then you stop that moving object. Okay, so when you catch a ball moving towards you, your hand exert a force in the opposite direction of the moving ball. Okay, so let us do a simple activity here. So let's see what is that activity here. Take a tennis ball and place it on a table. Okay, I don't have a tennis ball, so I'm putting the pen here. So see this pen, now gently push the ball. What happens? So if I push the pen, okay, see, it start moving. Okay, so what happens, because it is not a round thing, so that's why it is not continuously moving. After this is after applying a force, after a few times, few seconds, is already stopped. But if it is round, then it will start moving. Okay, continuously it will move. So the ball begins to move. Now place your hand on the moving ball. Okay, so if in your home have a ball, then you try to do this activity and prove it. If you not until you do not apply any force to stop it, it will not stop. So what do you observe? The ball stops. So a force can move a stationary object. So at first example we have seen that if force can move a stationary object, so means when we are applying a force, that time the stationary object can move. Now second example we established that if we do not apply any force, that stationary then the moving object cannot be stopped. Okay, so a body can also stop on its own due to the force of friction. For example, a ball rolling on a rough surface comes to rest after some time. So in rough surface, actually rough means that surface is not actually smooth. So for this, actually if you roll any ball on a rough surface, after sometimes it will stop. Okay, so but if you roll a ball on a smooth surface, then it will go on. Okay, it will goes on. Okay, so a force can change the speed of a moving object. So number 3, the effect of force. A force can change the speed of a moving object. Okay, so let's see the activity 3. Push the moving ball. In activity 2, is there any change in its speed? The ball moves faster, or just touch the moving ball. What happens to its speed now? So when you throw that ball towards you, that time the ball moves faster, but when you catch it, so what will it, that ball slows down, and afterwards when that ball comes in your hand, it will stop totally. So the speed of an object increase or decrease depending upon the strength or the direction of the applied force. So how much force, strength of the force you are applying, and what is the direction direction you are throwing that object. So that is depends on their depends on their strength and direction. But means what is the speed of that object increase or decrease, that depends on the strength and direction of the applied force. So you have to push a moving swing harder in the direction of its motion to increase its speed. But if you want to stop it or slow it down, then you will have to pull it or push it in the direction opposite to its motion. So when if you want to increase the speed, so that direction, what is the direction of the speed motion of that object, that direction you are throwing, that time your that motion will be increased. But if you throw that ball and the opposite side, if you apply that force to catch it or push or pull like that, that time that motion will be decreased. Okay, so next is that a force can change the direction of a moving object. Okay, so a force can also change the initial direction of a moving object. For example, when a batsman strikes a bolt at him, the force applied by him through the bat changes the direction of the ball. Okay, so say you know that in cricket match also, when the bowler throw that ball to bolt at him, but that batsman actually that ball is coming this side to bolt him, but that batsman applying a force through this bat to change the direction of that ball. So the force applied by him through the bat changes the direction of the ball, and the ball travels in a new direction. So see that's how that ball is changed the direction. At first that bowler, when the bowler throw that ball, the balls is coming this side, but when that decide to bolt him, but the batsman apply a force through his bat to change the direction of that direction of the ball this way, or means the ball travels in a new direction. So at first the direction of the ball is this way, now after striking the bat, the ball direction is this way. So how is this changed? So by applying a force can change the direction of a moving object. Okay, so last point is that effect of force. A force can change the shape and size of an object, and this point is very much important. You know that when you're at your home, when your mommy making a chapati or roti, so that time she makes a dough of chapati. So and how by applying his hand, how it will construct a circle or oval, you know that. So a force, so activity 4, a force can change the shape and size of an object. Observe this action in your surroundings. So you know that cleaning dough, or if you know how to if you want, you can use the clay to change the shape and size by applying a force, and stretching a spring, stretching a, so you please do this one. The force can change the shape and size. So you write down here in this, observe these actions in your surrounding where the shape and size will be changed by applying a force. So you can take a ball of dough, make models of different shape and size by pressing it with your hands. a rubber band. So this rubber band, actually you know that this is very available at your home. So if you know that if you take the rubber band and if you if you pull like this way, see how much it becomes longer. So by applying a force, how that rubber band becomes longer on pulling. The application of force on an object can change its shape and size. So this is the one of the example. So how that by application of force on an object can change its shape and size. So how the on pulling, how the rubber bands becomes longer, see how much it is longer and changes shape and size by applying a force. So these are the effects of force. So first is that force can move a stationary object, a force can stop a moving object, a force can change the speed of a moving object, a force can change the direction of a moving object, and a force can change the shape and size of an object. So 5 points is here. So 5 points is very much important, and you try to remember it by example, because if you remember it by example, then very long time you can keep in your mind. So next is the very important parts of the types of force is that forces can be classified into two main types. One is the contact force and another is the non-contact force. So from this point types, you see that contact force. So from this word you can, I hope all of you can understand what is the meaning of contact force and what is the meaning of non-contact forces. Okay, so contact force means some forces act on bodies only when they are in contact with the body. So we are applying a such type of force that what is with contact with our body, that type of force is called contact force. So these are called the contact force. For example is the muscular force or frictional force. So muscular force, so muscles. So so muscular force, you think about the muscular force means actually we are talking about the muscles. So this is one of the body part. So a force that is applied by the muscles of one's body is called muscular force. So that force, so whatever we are applied by the muscles. So a player kicking a ball, so suppose a footballer kicking a football, so actually he is actually that applying a muscles force. A force or lifting a suitcase, suppose you are lifting a suitcase from the floor, so we are actually applying your hand muscles, are example of muscular forces. So these are the forces that is applied by the muscles of one's body. So that's why these are the examples of a muscular force. A horse pulling a cart is an example of a muscular force. So when a horse pulling a cart is an example of a muscular force. Next is that frictional force. So what is frictional force? So have you noticed that however hard you push or kick a ball, okay, so it always stops after covering some distance. So when you try to kick a ball or push a ball, so after you notice one thing, after a covering a some distance, it always stops. Okay, so when a body moves or tries to move over a surface, the force that resists the motion of the body is called frictional force. So when a body moves or tries to move over a surface, means when you try to move a body or move over a surface, the force, another force, means we are applying a force to move a body, but that another force that resists the motion of the body, means the another force that's try to stop the motion of the body is called actually the frictional force. So it always acts in opposite direction of the motion of the body. So if I put this pen on the floor, on this table, and try to push it, so when I am applying a force this way, so the frictional direction of the frictional force is applying that way. That's why after covering some distance, the pen will stop. Okay, so hence it opposes the motion of the object. So that frictional force always opposes the motion of the object, means which direction that object will move, that opposite direction the frictional force will apply. Okay, so these are two, muscular force and frictional force. These are the contact force. Now I am talking about non contact force. So if I ask you about tell me two example of a contact force, that time you have to write muscular force or frictional force. Or if I ask you muscular force is a what type of force, so then you have to write down muscular force is a contact force. Okay, so now is the non-contact forces. There are some forces that do not require a physical contact to act on an object. Okay, so they can work from a distance as well. Such forces are called non-contact forces. So contact force are always contact with the body, but you see the non-contact force, there are some forces that do not require physical contact. So we no need to any physical contact to act on an object. Okay, so this is the difference between contact force and non-contact forces. There are some types of or you can say the non-contact force is also called a action at a distance. So gravitational force, magnetic force, electrostatic force. So these are the example of a non-contact force. So in my next video I will discuss about the